message to rectify this issue. Now, um, this right here, asking you to send a direct message, this is actually playing around Twitter specifically, their terms of use. Um, they want you to send them a direct message so that you are the one that looks like you initiated contact. You send them a direct message, and so you are the one that kicked off the conversation. Uh, that's part of the way that some of these scammers dance around the terms and services that Twitter has in place. If anybody sends you a message and says, "Hi, send us a DM so we can do X, Y, and Z," they, in all likelihood, do not have your best interests in mind. They're probably trying to scam you. So the initial tweet that I sent out was written as an actual sentence. This was like typed out as somebody who might legitimately in good faith be having an issue and is trying to just like reach out to the broader Twitter community for help. I have done the same thing, not typing out sentences, but literally just typing out keywords. So I'll do a tweet that just says like MetaMask Trust Wallet issue bug error fix pancake swap. And that's it. And I'll send it out and I'll get some of the same responses. These scammers are, to the best that I can tell, just scanning Twitter for certain keywords. And whenever those keywords are hit, they automatically fire off the tweet to them with a link to these Google Docs to try to harvest the wallet keys, or a tweet that says, "Hi, I had the same problem, DM me and I can help you," or whatever the case may be. But they're not even reading the tweet. They're just scanning for certain keywords and will automatically respond to anybody that puts those keywords out.
And Chris, in the event that you might have given out some of your information, and what I understand, sometimes people also just sit on this info until you've actually like gathered more assets over time. Is it also recommended to just rotate passwords frequently? How frequently should you do that? Should you change wallets and like kill certain ones? Like what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so it I really there's a couple of different questions there. And if it's a matter of you might have accidentally given out your username and password to one of these phishing sites. The best thing to do is log into that site, change your password immediately. Don't wait, don't hesitate. It doesn't matter if they have access to your account or not. If you think that you might have accidentally been compromised, change your password. When it comes to giving out your wallet seed phrase, um, I don't know how easy it is to say change that, right? Um, when it comes to a crypto wallet, I think the best course of action that you might have is to take whatever assets you have in that wallet and transfer it to either an exchange that you have an account with or transfer it to another wallet. But
Yeah, because
overall,
and from
oh,
what I
yeah, go
understand,
ahead.
you can't even really delete a crypto wallet, right? It's always there in perpetuity. Is that true? I can't.
Multiple areas in multiple formats. Um, I think memorizing it is definitely one of the better places to go if you have that mental capacity. But I mean, I might be a freak in this, but I have multiple wallets, and I've got MetaMask and then a couple of others that have different assets in them. That's a lot of seed phrases to remember, and I'm not getting any younger here.
No, but there are good
Yeah.
techniques. I took a psychology class maybe 25 years ago now, and they taught us how to memorize lists of 10, which happens to be the
Oh
seed
yeah,
phrase number. And by
12.
coloring the different mental images, I can remember multiple lists of 10, and it didn't take long to learn. So
Chris, you should host a Leyline workshop of like, memory devices and techniques. I mean, that'd be pretty
would
awesome.
only take 5 minutes.
Well,
No, and
because
I mean,
go ahead.
what Chris is talking about, some of these memory mnemonics, I Chris had actually taught me one of his memory mnemonics that he's talking about, and then not long afterwards, I did a presentation for a public speaking class on how to do this memory mnemonic because it was so effective. So I mean, it like that is one of the better ways to go. If you can just memorize it, and as long as it's in your brain, you can access these wallets. And that's fantastic on a personal sense. But then if you zoom out a little bit, and I think about, I've got a wife and two kids. And if I was like walking down to Dunkin' Donuts and got plastered by a bus, well, it wouldn't really help if I remembered what the seed phrase is to all my crypto wallets because, my brain is in multiple places. So it would also help to have some kind of physical or accessible backup for other people in your life to access in an emergency situation, right? So it,
You've
it
been
really
doing
depends
martial
upon.
arts for 30 years. If you get hit by a bus going to Dunkin' Donuts, I'm going to be really disappointed. I expected much more of your ending than that.
Hey, I'll tell you what, people turn up my road at absurd speeds, all right? They drive up my road like nobody lives up here, okay? I've almost been sideswiped many times. But regardless, I'm I mean, I'm a security risk manager, and a lot of what I do is threat modeling. And in the crypto world, it really comes down to understanding and appreciating what your own personal threat model is and planning accordingly. So if you live alone, you're on your own, you don't have other family that you are concerned about accessing your crypto funds, then memorizing it is probably the best way you can go. That's the most safe and secure route you can go for keeping your seed phrases. If you're somebody like me who's a family man, you've got a wife, kids, all that, and other people that might need to access your funds in the most unfortunate of situations, you need some kind of physical or electronic backup that they can use, they can retrieve, and access those funds and do something if you're not around. So it really comes down to understanding your own threat model, your own kind of personal, um, your own personal life, and going from there.
So let me put you on the spot. Speaking of, um,
Yeah.
you, as far as I know, have one of my seed phrases. How do you feel about just finding somebody outside the house that you absolutely trust and doing it that way, or is that generally frowned upon?
That is entirely a case by case basis. Um,
Well, I'm not asking you personally. I'm asking you as a threat manager, as someone that advises people. Do you advise against that?
no, I would advise that it is entirely a case by case basis. Um, I could not definitively say that is a good or bad practice. That entirely comes down to the individual and the person that they are trusting with their seed phrase. So if you are somebody that trusts implicitly, like without a shadow of a doubt, another person, whether it's a friend, sibling, neighbor, whatever, um, with this information, then sure, share it with them. That goes down to your personal relationship. I would say it is analog to trusting somebody to have your bank account information, your social security number, or any other really sensitive information about yourself.
Yeah, one thing I've done actually, I've written down my seed phrase and just put it in like a small like fire safe. And so that
Okay.
way you don't have to like give out the phrase itself, but you just say, hey, in the event something happens, like, you have a key to my safe and, you can always just go, to my home or wherever I'm storing that and open it up. And then you have like the information. I did that because, for my daughters, for example, I have to prepare for scenarios where hey, if something happens to me, someone's got to be able to retrieve my stuff. And so I basically told my family, hey, here's like, where I'm storing this information. I obviously can't access it right now and it's like very difficult to do, but if something happens, here's a way to get to it. So at
I'll
least
just
that way
add,
there's a layer
Yeah.
if
between
you're
it.
gonna
Yep.
if you're gonna do it that way, make sure you don't actually say what it is because Chris and I could probably pick a fire safe in under 10 seconds. Those things are notoriously poorly secured unless you've got like a $300 one.
Yes. So
Like I have a
Yeah.
w-
fire safe that I threw out the keys because two paper clips in 5 seconds and I'm in it. So
Oh, is
it's
that the
just
right.
case? Interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
they're
So
yeah, that's
terrible.
why I guess
but
I'm
but
mobile.
but again, that comes down to threat model. If
Mm.
Jeremy is telling everyone in the world that he's got his seed phrases to wallets in a fire safe, um, which
That was my
this is being
point.
recorded, so he kind of did, then that's one thing. Um, I will say having your seed phrase in multiple physical locations um, is definitely a good idea. So having your seed phrase written down in your home, whether it's in a fire safe, hidden in a crawl space, whatever the case may be, is generally seen as a good best practice. And the only kind of uh, you know naysaying against it is that, well, what if your house burns down? Okay, cool. Um, if you have your seed phrase written down in some kind of physical form in your home, and then say in your car, and if you work in an office building somewhere at your office, like in a drawer in your desk, well, now you have it in three different physical locations. The chances of your house, your car, and your office building all having some kind of catastrophic destruction happen to them at the same time are, you know, infinitesimally low. And if that
Right, but
happens,
you've also just tripled your exposure, right?
Hmm.
you've
Yeah,
also tripled your
to a
exposure, but
degree.
at the same time, if you
There,
write down a seed phrase and you do not specify what wallet it is for, it's sort of like writing down the combination to a combination lock, but not saying what lock it's for, right? So you might
Mhm.
have a seed phrase, but is this for MetaMask Trust Wallet, or any of the other dozens of wallets out there?
Well,
Uh,
how many shots do they give you before they lock on you? So let's say you have 4 wallets and I find your seed phrase, wouldn't I just plug it into all 4 wallets if I had access?
But there may be like thousands of different types of wallets as well. But yeah, it's true. I don't know what the input max is per wallet and like that
it
service.
Yeah, it
Didn't that
differs
just
per
happen to
wallet.
somebody though?
Oh,
Remember that just
bro.
happened in the news? Somebody was paying a hacker to try to get a
Yes,
seed phrase because he only had 2 more shots or something like that?
yes, because I
Oh.
believe they had a hardware wallet. It was Ledger or something like that, and they had like a bunch of Bitcoin on there from the earliest days of Bitcoin, and it was worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and they only had one or two attempts left to enter the correct seed
Mm.
phrase, right? So again, it's very situational. It comes down to what kind of wallet this is and how many attempts that they actually allow. Um, like anything in security, nothing is foolproof. But you need to weigh your exposure to what your actual risk profile is. If you have your seed phrase written down in a physical form in three different locations, let's say your house, your car, and your place of employment, yes, that theoretically increases your exposure if anybody were to access this seed phrase at any point, recognize what it is, and then try to plug it into, the dozens and dozens of wallets out there. But at the same time, it increases your safety from losing these funds. Um, you
Mhm.
just have to try to understand what your personal risk profile is and balance things accordingly.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, there's also some other tricks you could do. Like if you write it down, you could have your own kind of cipher, which is like, oh, you adjust every third letter, and it's like, I don't know, like you
No,
have your own like
definitely.
personal way to rejigger it
Yeah.
for versus
Or
what's
or
actually
you
written.
can Yeah, you can adjust the words in there, you can adjust the order that they're in. I mean, seed phrases for a wallet are ordinal, right? They have to be in
Mm,
a specific order. So if you try to adjust or shuffle up the order in the way that you write it down, and even if it's a simple cipher, that's something that somebody that accesses your seed phrase understands what it is and decides to try to access your wallet in some malicious way. They might not understand what that simple cipher is. So they can
mm.
enter in the seed phrase as they see it. It doesn't work. Well, okay, where do we go now? Now they're just like throwing crap at the wall to see what sticks.
Right. Yeah. And you know
I
what?
used
For
to.
the record, I just want to say that my fire safe is at the bottom of a very deep pool with sharks and lasers on them. And there's booby traps to get to it too. So
Is it a pool of
it's not an
acid
Waterproof.
easy,
too?
it's not an easy heist job, just saying. My fire safe is very well protected.
Well, I'll give away one of my trade secrets too. I used to write down my passwords that I absolutely needed inside hardcover dust covers, dust jackets that nobody ever takes off the book. So that's a great place to just throw a random set of words too, especially if
Yeah,
you've got a big library with a lot of books.
yeah. I
Very
mean, it
nice.
doesn't it doesn't have to be a piece of paper that's sitting on your desk or a post-it note sitting on your desk. I'm I've got a couple of bookshelves loaded up with books over here, and I could write my seed phrase on a post-it note and stick it on a random page in a random book somewhere that, all right, if the FBI raided my house and really just went to town searching for it, they might find. But the average thief coming in here or the average home invader, they would never see it.
We're gonna start finding
So,
seed phrases showing up at yard sales in people's books and on the bottom of their tables. And
my dude, have you ever been
That's
on the
great.
dark web? Um,
no,
That's all it is.
Yeah, I
Oh
can tell you
man.
right now, there are sites dedicated to giving out seed phrases, and most of them are invalid or the wallets have been wiped. But like, you're not far off. You really are. Um,
Yeah.
why are you on the dark web?
He's a
uh,
security expert, of course.
yeah, science. I just
Know thine enemy. Oh, Chris, this is amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time and really sharing a lot of your knowledge and wisdom. I learned a lot too, so this is really great, and I
I-
hope
I'm
everybody else did.
I'm happy to hear that, Jeremy. And it's absolutely my pleasure. I like if I can do anything to help people keep safe on the web and in the crypto space and just like not fall victim to different scams, like I'm happy to do it.
Oh
So
yeah,
moving
it's
forward,
huge.
I know you've got some colleagues that you were thinking of if we do this monthly, and kind of build up our repository of safety techniques. Um, how do you want to do that? Do you want us to reach out and ask you like specific subject matters we're interested in, or do you want to try to find people that are interested and bring them to us and kind of surprise us?
I think a hybrid approach. I think there's a couple of people that I know I want to reach out to that have like a great subject matter expertise on different aspects of security. But at the same time, I'd love to hear what you guys are interested in to make sure that we're aligned. So, like, I could reach out to somebody that is, say, a physical security expert,
Mm.
guards, gates, guns, all that. But that might not have any kind of bearing or interest on ley lines. So I don't want to waste
Mm.
anybody's time having them come in and give a really interesting and informative talk that means absolutely nothing to Leyline or any of the people, right? Um,
No, that's great.
so I
That's a good
think,
call.
yeah, I think a hybrid approach would work. Let me know what you're interested in. I'll reach out to some people that would be willing to speak and share their knowledge and expertise, and we can see if we can find some kind of middle ground on it.
Awesome. Actually, and you know what? Maybe Chris, you could send over, hey, here's like a set of like potential topics, and then we could actually set up a poll and see what the community, might have the most interest in, and then we can kind of
Okay.
gauge and then invite folks. So, if that works, I think that'd be amazing. Uh,
Yeah,
and
that'd be
and
cool.
by the way, let's also get you hooked up. So thank you for being like a tutor and mentor on this one. So here's kind of how the program works is that mentors are going to get Leyline points and NFTs for their participation. People that attend the sessions get their NFT drop as well. And our goal is that all these alpha NFTs that we're getting now, we're going to upgrade them to rare once we get launched into beta, hopefully around October and November. And these are going to be very difficult to come by. So all the early
Okay.
adopters. So try to like set this up so our tokens are going to be, worth your time and effort. That's for sure. So thank you again, Chris. This is super nice. Did
Hey,
anybody have any
just
final
keeping
questions?
people
Oh.
safe. That's worth the time. Like honestly.
Oh, I really appreciate it. Any questions though before we wrap? David, Janice, Chris, Servin, Refluence.
Yeah. Questions, comments, quips, queries, quandaries, anything along those lines?
Yeah, guys, I just want to offer thanks for a great session for all of you. You've put in a lot of time. You've been very generous and compassionate to the new users. So very good. Deeply appreciated.
Thank you, Chris.
Rock
I'll stay
on. I
connected.
love it. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Ciao.
All right, bye.
Ciao.
Thank you so much,
Uh,
guys. I just wanted to find out about the Clayton. Is Layla now connected to the Clayton?
yes, actually. So the relationship with Clayton is we're actually already minting our NFTs on a Clayton blockchain. We are also inserting Clayton coins as part of the prize pool to be claimed or randomly distributed. And our plan is to continue to ramp up our NFTs with them. So yeah, we're in fact, your NFTs that you're earning now, you can export them into the Kaikis wallet and then post them on OpenSea to sell, for example. But we've got bigger plans going beyond that, like with our own marketplace on the Leyline website. So yeah, definitely gather as many as you can. I think collecting them now is a really good idea. I recommend. And yeah, I actually just finished like our first draft of our Leyline white paper, which really goes into the future vision and a plan for what we're going to do with our NFTs and our tokens. So it's we're not just ready to publicize it yet, but we're pretty close. And you guys are going to get to see like how crazy we're going to take the whole NFT strategy and our roadmap. Uh, yeah, we got some fun stuff planned ahead. So stay
Okay,
tuned.
thank you so much, guys. So much information we got today. So much education. Thank you so much.
Great. Love it. I'm glad you enjoyed.
Mhm. All
Oh, I
right.
like the part where he sent the tweet and then the bots went to tweet at it. I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
Like that's next level scamming.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, it's amazing how quickly these things can hit in real time. And, again, if you're new to the crypto world or you're new to social media and you don't really kind of know the ins and outs, you might see some of those tweets come in and think like, "Oh, awesome! Like, MetaMask or Trust Wallet support's reaching out to me. Like, I'm gonna take their support." And then you get
No, I
wrecked.
think you've been doing this too long. I don't even think it's new users. I think it's anybody that's momentarily distracted. You got a kid behind you, you got somebody mowing the lawn, because in some of those
Mhm.
cases, it was just one letter difference between a legitimate
Absolutely,
page and a scam page. And,
absolutely. Or I mean, it's like Trust Wallet underscore support or Trust Wallet site, something like that, and it looks so close to the legitimate site, and they're just like, "Hey, here's the official Trust Wallet support page. Just fill out this form and help us out." And like you said, you've got two kids hanging off of you. You're trying to cook dinner. Pasta water is boiling over on the stove. Your phone's ringing, and you're just like, "Oh, it's what I need to get this fixed." Um,
or you're at
it
work
just
with a
takes a
quota.
Mhm.
yeah, it just takes a
Yeah.
momentary distraction. It's just like, seed phrase, copy, paste, whatever, let's go. And that's
Yeah.
it. You get wiped.
Yeah. Oof. So yeah, this is very valuable. I think you're helping a lot of folks, and then we get to spread that knowledge further. So it's all about how do we stop the bad guys. I think that's really key.
Teaching
Um,
people how to stop the bad guys. That's teaching people how to do their own research and to identify these scams. I think that's critical, especially for people that are coming into the space for the first time.
Well, just as a
100%.
slight tangent, you said something earlier I wanted to just bring back full circle.
Yeah.
Um, we have a partnership with Hyper, which is a content media platform that's trying to focus more on education and quality content. And I
Mhm.
really think that some of your contacts in the physical security world, this is a dangerous world. So knowing what to look for to keep safe, I think that that would be valuable in the future as well. I kind of, you talk about people having cold wallets. Well, you got it. Now you got to protect it, right? Oh,
Yeah. I mean, I'm obviously very biased in that realm as far as like security and fraud protection and all that. So I entirely agree. But no, maybe that's my own bias. I don't know. Oh, did we lose Jeremy? Ah, there he
he
is.
comes and goes. Every time he leaves, we have to take a shot.
Oh, I'd be nonverbal by now if that was the point.
Jeremy,
I
we
don't.
can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you,
Damn
man.
it, my bad. My Discord keeps like
Oh,
randomly restarting for some reason. I don't know. My setup's kind of funky. Um, but yeah, I do have to get ready to go, guys. Have a meeting coming up. But again, thank you so much, Chris, for leading this. Thank all of you guys for attending and sticking around. And man, 3 a.m., 3:30. Janice, David, thank you. Go get some sleep now.
yeah, guys,
I'll,
go get some sleep. Like,
uh,
enjoy the rest of your weekend, please.
enjoy. Okay,
Yeah.
bye everybody. I'll see you
All right.
later.
Take care, everyone.